Obviously great advice. And, we saw as lenders in the last couple of years with the shortage in inventory, huge disappointment for people not being able to win. And obviously buying a home is very emotional for many people involved in the transaction. So how do you set the stage for that buyer who's emotionally attached to something that they know they still might be competing with? And I stress not just the first time home buyer market, which is clearly, I think, the most competitive market
Mhm.
out there, but also that move up buyer, right? Who
Right.
wants a particular school district, who wants a particular neighborhood, who's not willing, to give up anything in terms of what the house looks like. What kind of advice do we give to them when it's not move-in ready?
Right. What I would say is a few things. One is, again, recalibrate, set the expectations. I usually say to people right up front, please do not fall in love with a house until we are handed the keys at closing. Easier said than done, of course. When we bought our first house, I didn't understand, what is this 30 days we have to wait? I wanted to move in the next day. So I think there is that, and again, I think, we as agents have to get across that point. I also think that I think buyers need to, there are always different segments of a market, good market, bad market, in between. There are the houses that were perhaps overpriced, and so now we're seeing price drops. There are houses that weren't properly prepared for the market, need carpet, paint. Be willing to do that. That is, for the right house in the right location and neighborhood, it's worth spending a few $1,000s to carpet and paint. And maybe all of the painting doesn't have to be done at one time. So I think that, again, to have the proper expectations, and also there are, maybe there are some terms that are important to the seller that a particular buyer can offer that the competition or some of the competition just isn't in a position to. For example, a rent back, perhaps even a free rent back. We've seen a lot of that. And then maybe that is, there are still competitive situations. I lost one for a buyer last weekend because somebody came in and had no contingencies. So, there's still that out there, but then, maybe you can offer a rent back, or, be in agreement on a settlement date that, exceeds someone else's offer. I think that there are ways, and I think the bottom line is, make sure you're working with an agent who can communicate well with the listing agent. It's all about relationships, how to work together for the same goal. The listing agent wants to get the property sold. You have a great buyer. You want to get that property for the buyer. So how can we work together to make all that happen?